You're still here. Awesome. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching a movie with us. It was so much fun to do this with you. And thank you for sticking around for Actorspokee. This is where we sit around talking about the movie. And I am here joined by our regulars, our Dungeon Master, Mike Boozer, wave, Mike, wave, and Steve Connard, our screenwriter, and also many other things. My main business partner. We've been together for many decades. And Sarah Moore, our social media princess and actor for two of the roles tonight, and prior a dungeon master for Actorspokee. And our special guests, Bryce Bebop and Dylan Smith. All right. Well, Bryce, Dylan, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Actorspokee.
Glad to be here.
So, what do you guys think?
It looked great, Dylan. Everything we did together, except for it wasn't me, but it was still great.
Cool, man. Yeah, I was smiling the whole time. I thought it was so much fun. I had a great time. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was a great adaptation of role-playing session. Steve did a great job with the script and mixing things up. Pretty true. I mean, so true to the story, but very, the added bits were great, Steve, for your script wise. You and I worked together a long time, so we know this kind of stuff. And I was really excited about it. The whole, the actors were great, and the whole thing was fantastic, Peter.
That cast is amazing. We've been blessed with some star performances throughout the Actorspodkee's history, but this season you guys just knocked it out of the park. Okay, so Bryce, let's talk to you for a moment. Like, you unfortunately weren't able to make it last time. Thank you thank you for not being there. So that's not what I meant to say. But I mean, I know you might have been able to be there, but you actually took one for the team and didn't come. So I appreciate that, given the situation. How were you surprised by how things turned out, or did it feel like decisions you might have made?
That felt pretty accurate to what I would have done in most of those situations. Yeah, I might have used more spells, but that's probably, I'd be hitting a lot of things with a ladle.
Yeah.
How do I go about keeping the shovel?
Well,
we can discuss that next session, can't we?
Yeah. We are going to discuss that the next. Yeah, I mean, you are all going to discuss that in the next show.
I really loved it. It was super fun. It felt like everything that I would have done was still there. So
when you said what you would have done, tell us in your own words how you see this character Cass.
Well, I see Cass as he's a little arrogant. He's a lot of arrogant. He was one of the first people in his family to go to Bard school. He went to the Bard University. He failed out due to reasons beyond his own control, but he was still top of the class in everybody's heart. And so it's coming through in the character and the performance. It's really great because he is kind of cocky, but with that kind of genial smile where people still like him, even though he's being kind of cocky. And I really like how that keeps coming across.
So Dylan, do you agree? I mean, does that resonate with you, or do you have a totally different, as the actor who's performing the character based on the script? Not really so much. You've had some conversations with Bryce, but the funnel to you is the script. I mean, do you see that coming through on the script?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's really interesting because I didn't know that Bryce wasn't involved for this game session, but when we talked early on, we both were kind of ground zero, in this character session, and I just kind of was like, let's go funny, let's make him kind of Tony Stark-esque and arrogant, but with really underneath all that is a heart of he has heart. So it's really interesting communicating at these different levels on the same character, getting, receiving what his choices are based on what we talked about, and then having to deliver. So it's really funny, creating this thing together. And I was worried that maybe it wasn't coming across from what I was choosing to do with it. But I'm happy that Bryce thinks otherwise. So, that's great.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So how you're in the middle of this process, Steve? What are your thoughts about Cass and like what Bryce is saying and what Dylan is saying? You're in the middle of all that. What are you saying?
Well, I've said before, I tend to go more off the actor playing the bit than the role player. Although I do take the role playing lines verbatim in some cases or whatever. I mean, they're the one telling the story, but I'm always picturing the actor's voice when I'm delivering. So, I mean, I've worked with Dylan on a number of projects now, and I love his comedic timing. It's just, I didn't think your lip syncing was going to be that good, though. I was expecting more like chop socky, bad, Chinese cinema sort of stuff. But you were pretty on point. I mean, like almost to the point you might have like a psychic connection with the sword, which would be interesting.
Well, he had the benefit of being able to read the script, right? So I actually thought about in the edit, like putting in little like actually make it off the but I didn't do that.
Beatrice is in his head now. She lives there.
That's a great story idea. Love it. Because Cass hates listening to her, and if he has stuck with her, come on, that's amazing.
Burrowing in.
Oh, I loved all your reactions to her every time she spoke. You're just like, oh my god. And plus, like, okay, I love the house rule thing, which is sort of a gamery joke. It's like new house rule, no asking questions to Beatrice.
Yeah. That's a good line. Good line.
I think it occurred to me somewhere through this, it's almost like Beatrice's sphere of influence is having an effect on all the bards because everybody starts singing and saying lines. And Peter made the it was on an email afterwards. He's like, oh, I would you say something about it, Blue Oyster Cult song comes to mind?
Yeah.
That's how the Blue Oyster Cult Eldritch Blast came into it. Anyway, it's silly, but it's so much fun.
Well, it's so funny because like in playing D&D for the last God knows how many decades, typical gaming groups, hardly ever anybody wants to play a bard. But when you start playing D&D with a bunch of performers and streamers and people and actors, like all of a sudden there's bards are like the center thing. Funny how that happened. So
Mike's everywhere.
So Mike, you also have a hand in this character. What are your thoughts about how the game table translated into the movie?
I think that like I've said before, I think what happens is we produce the basic storyline, and then it goes into and Steve makes it into a script, and there's some lines that are, there's some things that are tossed away and some things that are like, oh, that's a gem, we got to use that. So I mean, I'd have to say for the Cass character, I mean, I just background here for me, I like bards in my campaign. I like it, and it's kind of a different feel when I have bards in my campaign. I try to make it a special thing, and I feel like Bryce has brought that to the forefront of the campaign here, where Bryce is creating his own niche and thing. I created Beatrice with Bryce in mind because I knew there would be some tension there, because Beatrice is like pretty much a kind of a she knows some things, so she has her own knowledge, but at the same time she's kind of fake. She's not really, she's a plagiarist, and she just makes stuff up, and so she has a high opinion of herself, juxtapositioned with how I knew Bryce was playing his character, where he's kind of the failed bard, but he wants to make his way and that kind of thing. So I kind of thought that would work really well. When Steve does the script and he improves on the Beatrice lines, and he and I have talked about this, but she's citing all this stuff that's actual prose already in print, and and that makes it kind of fun. I love it, and I think that Dylan and Bryce really have a connection that really make it, as far as the character and then what it's brought to life. I think it really resonates.
Well, it's so funny because, Beatrice, I listened to you say Beatrice lines at the RPG table. Then my poor actors had to listen to me saying Beatrice lines on set, right? And neither one of us, Mike, did that well. And and then I got her voiceover as a professional voiceover artist doing Beatrice lines, popping in the script, and the script just jumped to life at that point. It's like, because I had everybody else already laid into it, and I'm editing it, having to listen to myself, and then
I agree. And it's really nice. I'm a DM. I make the little voice up, and I try to make it, but it's just it's crap. I mean, it's bad. It's not good at all. But I like to go through it, and I like to try to give the feeling of this is how it is. And Sarah just brings it to life. It's really a lot of fun. I mean, I just love the way it sounds, and and the way it's written. It just kind of all works. And I think that I think that the tension between the character and the sword is really kind of fun, which wasn't really planned, in the first place, but has developed, which is nice.
Beatrice got real sassy this episode.
Yeah,
she was just yelling. Like,
Mhm.
it was just like, it felt correct to just yell those lines.
Yeah, it was fun. Well, it was funny also because Dylan, you had such great reactions. Like some of the other characters were kind of liking Beatrice at various times, and were like maybe kind of warm, up to her. But you're looking at her like this.
Yeah, I guess just strong choices. I don't know. I'm talking.
She's trying to upstage us.
Yeah.
And she's doing it. So
For now.
All I can do is think to her. That's all I can do.
Yeah, that is the tension. She is trying to act like be the bard, but
My favorite line is when of that episode was when I have to go, shit, that's actually a good idea. I mean, I've been like, I don't like her. Well, God, she's right. That sucks.
it just hurts you to know.
Create a distraction and go fondle the bunghole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I think in that situation, I'd rather be the distraction. So I feel like we got the good end of that stick there.
We did, yeah.
By the way, Peter, that harkens back to, we got to give credit to Scott Elliott. Do you remember a previous D&D campaign and the whole wine barrel bunghole jokes?
Yeah, he started that years ago because it's a real word.
We can't let it go.
Okay.
It's true. When I heard it, I thought about the same thing. I was going, oh yeah, that's from way back.
The seal on a keg.
Yes, which just happens to be where the latch is to access the secret door. I mean, it's obvious, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Where else would you put it? I don't.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
obviously.
It's a great excuse to use that word over and over.
Keep using it.
We even brought it up here in Actorspokee. I mean,
Just keeps going.
keeps going.
It is the gift
It just
that
sounds so
keeps
good
on
in French
giving.
too. In French, right? You need to say it. Go fondle le bunghole.
Le bunghole. Yeah.
Yeah.
the bunghole.
Yeah.
He's gonna see how often he can slide that in the script now.
Just gonna keep at it. We're gonna have a whole conversation in the next session
Part of
about
it's-
what you guys did.
Not even gonna have anything to do with the scene. Just someone's gonna say it.
I just remember when we found that secret door. Where was it? Oh, that's right.
I don't want to say it again. Not again.
Well, part of good screenwriting is knowing when to stop saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Steven's a good screenwriter.
Well, thank you. At least with Actorspokee.
Yeah.
So it's something occurred to me, and this might be a bit of a future. So in another Actorspokee series, we had a bard who ordered a magical singing sword, and it occurred to me midway through this particular episode, I'm like, it would be really great if the singing sword got together with Beatrice. I don't know. They could sing a
Get
duet.
both bards and both singing swords. They'd have a quartet. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So that is interesting.
Yeah, lovely.
We just keep having weapons that talk. Just keeps coming up.
Because they're fun.
They're
fun.
fun.
They
But-
are.
And it's great for Actorspokee because we can do them with voiceover, so it's very efficient. By the way,
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm really happy this week. This was the smoothest edit of any
Nice.
Actor episode.
okay.
Yeah.
It was just-
and Peter, I'd have to say, it's one of the, there was a lot of things where I was going, wow, that's awesome. Really awesome. I thought it was really, the script was so put together. There was a lot of great lines, and all of the interactions and the way it moved was really great. So kudos to you, Peter. Seriously, when this time I did not read the script when I usually read the script. So I took a kind of a break from that for other reasons, but I was just like, I wanted to see like what it was going to look like from the RPG session straight to the acting, and it was very and I was very like really pleased with everything. So exciting, so well done, Peter.
Well, it helped a lot that all the actors were there on Wednesday night. By the time Wednesday night was over, I had all the coverage, which was great. So
Yeah.
like the previous cycle, I'd had to go in and refilm on Saturday. I had 3 different film shoots to do, and that just takes right out of the editing time. So it was good. Yeah, and yeah. So what were people's favorite moments from the movie?
Well, all the
So-
action sequences are really good. All the way like us attacking towards camera in the edit to the mummy, I thought it was all pretty effective for how simple it was. I mean, it was really effective. I really liked it.
Oh, thank you.
I really liked how Anne's movements just kept getting bigger and bigger every time she was interacting with Beatrice. It was just like pulling her across the stage. I thought Anne did an amazing job doing all of
I
that.
completely agree with that. And it's interesting. I started to wonder if I wasn't involved in this at all. Like, who's in charge of the movement? Is it Saoirse or is it Beatrice? I'm not sure who's moving who there.
Yeah.
We had a good moment at the table where Beatrice was talking to her, and she just kept playing with it, like almost like Bruce Campbell, Evil Dead type, like and pointing. That was really stood out to me.
I enjoyed, Dylan. I enjoyed your performance pieces that you did with the sword, with all of that, especially when the bard gets up on stage and is doing is doing the ventriloquism thing. I thought that was really, and every time you had to lip sync, I thought that really worked really well. It was very cool and looked very good.
So
It looks really good.
Marcus chimed in on chat. He appreciated the Augie cameo. It was fun
Yes.
Yeah.
fun to see Augie back.
Or
Augie back.
those Actorspokee people who pay attention. It's just out of left field. Here comes Augie.
Yeah.
And of course,
Yeah.
in typical Augie sort of in way, he's like giving directions and exactly what they need to do and knows when to leave. It was awesome. It was so awesome. I loved it so much.
I also thought Tinnell's, I think all of her drawings and of the things, like when Steve and I were talking way back a week ago, 2 weeks ago, about the episode.
Feels like a
and
long time.
Yeah, so long ago, about what would be cool if they go to Graver's Dig and it's like Seattle and the Space Needle and everything is the shovel. There's a Space Needle here, there's a Space Needle there. The Space Needle bar. It's like the shovel is like, it's like they sell the damn shovel
Mhm.
everywhere. It's like over bars and everything. So it's like another like, oh crap, we can't find this damn shovel. It's everywhere. And her pieces of that was just so, I started laughing so hard. I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what we were hoping. And so that was very cool.
Yeah.
One of the things, I think one of my favorite parts, I mean, there's so many great parts, but one of my favorite parts was, so in the RPG, Mike goes, I'm going to lay down the map. he before playing, and he's like, okay, and we're looking for the shovel. And the idea here is that there's this magical item that's literally the name of the town. People have been looking at it for years and just assumed it's it's a logo. It's like, no, that's an actual. So it was just funny, almost verbatim the way that it went off. It was the way Mike goes, no, that's the shovel, and the players were like going, is it really that big?
Yeah.
And I was like, and the thing is, by the way, as a screenwriter here, I watched the RPG over and over and over again to pick up. I'm like going, I actually think the players think the shovel's that big.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, they're all going, wait, what do you mean?
How big is it?
How are we going to carry that?
How are we
That's
gonna
not.
carry that?
I threw in the one bit I threw in that it was almost verbatim. I just had to throw in because I love Giants and the whole Norse thing. It's just like Archibald goes, it had to be made by the Giants.
Exactly. Had to be. Right.
So Bryce, you got any thoughts about where you'd like to see Cass go from here? I mean, like, what are we gonna see Cass do here, other than go on the adventure, of course?
Honestly, it seems like being prepared maybe Cass's new direction. Like, you know what? That wand came in really handy from Archibald. Huh. And just grabbing more things that, like, it may come little knickknacks, and his bag just may start getting bigger and bigger as he tries to fill it with,
And
maybe I'll need some string. Maybe I'll need some fishbone earrings. I don't know. I'm just going to start
Never
grabbing
know.
everything.
And then I start using random things, testing them out as wands.
Exactly.
Don't work.
We
and
failed
then
bard school.
back to the trusty ladle.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
I
so
mean, you
true.
already think that ladle's something. So
the ladle has got to be the most unique item I've ever seen in an adventure series.
yeah.
Like everybody's picking up the big ass broadsword, like the stupid anime one at the very end that that Bahati pulls
Yeah,
out.
and
It's
that's
like,
all on Bryce. I said at the beginning, I said when we were creating characters, I want you to have one item, heirloom or special item that you've had that's something that you want, just something, and everyone's making up their own things. And Bryce goes, he goes, it's a ladle. And I'm like, all right, awesome.
Ladle.
Well, I wonder
Oh.
because, I don't know if anyone knows yet, but like Cookie in the last season, we decided that they're related, right? They're brothers.
Yeah.
So Bryce and I talked about how, ambiguous with how their relationship might be. I'm wondering if the ladle is related to that in any way. 'Cause it's a
That's-
cookie item.
So when I thought about it, I figured that, like, Cookie left his home and, like, it was one of the things he left to his brother.
Oh,
And so that's
Oh.
what he has. So, like, he took it to college with him. It
Oh
wasn't
my
a good luck charm there, but he still kept it. And so now he's bringing it with him. And so, it reminds me of his family.
To quote one of my favorite books, there are always plans within plans. So.
Mm-hmm.
dude.
I was thinking someday we got to get Dylan to play the two brothers in a scene.
It's time.
That would be
I want it.
hilarious.
I
Brother,
mean, I liked the last series a lot, but it seemed like every time Cookie was on screen, I just cracked up.
But he loves Cookie. Cookie was the
I do.
best.
I mean, Cookie was like the smartest person in the room. If you look at all
You
the
cook
times, like, he
soup.
really-
I cook drool.
That's right.
I mean, I could not have fun with something like that. It's like he's just yelling at people. Like, I don't know. It's great.
So Dylan, any comments? You spend several hours every episode with Andy and Malia and Anne. We talked about Anne a little bit, but what's it like working with Andy and Malia?
Okay, so we've only met for this project, all of us, and we've only been in the room for the readings and then the performances, right? So like maybe 6 total sessions, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It goes by so fast. So this episode in particular felt kind of special because we're all getting to know each other better, right? And like we're all getting to kind of vibe with each other and being more comfortable bouncing off of each other. I felt like me and Andy in particular bounced off each other pretty well in this episode, with the looks we had and stuff. And so this one felt like a pretty good cover new ground of being comfortable with each other in the room as like a family unit, a found family unit. So it's a simple project, but I mean, stuff like that matters, and it's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I really
Well,
like
good. I just love you all. So, I think it's, Steve knows I like to say my favorite days are days I get to work with actors. And when they're really good actors, that's even better. So
yeah.
Well, by the way, just FYI, as a writer, you're like, oh, well, I could write crazy stuff, and that or nuance or something, and the actors can actually deliver it. Sometimes I've had actors like, I better dumb this down.
Oh man.
Yeah.
nobody on this project. Yeah.
No, of course not. I have
Nothing here.
other writing projects.
Years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because we only get the script like the day before, which is not really normal, but it's actoroki, like karaoke for actors. So it's like we just lean into that, and we're all kind of like scared about what could happen, and so we all just like have to rely on each other. And having Sarah there this time was super dope. She was just like coming in hard with like either improv or just bravery with comedic timing, and so it was like, okay, cool, nice little jolt of energy right there. So it was great.
Listen, I'll come in anytime you want and just yell. If that's what gets this project through, I got you.
Yeah, that's great. All right. What you on speakerphone or something yelling at?
Yeah, I mean, the sword is perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, it's how I imagine it in my head, and then when I say it, I go, they'll fix this. Right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to talk about too much about what could possibly happen, but I'd be interested in seeing what if, I don't know how the magic of this world works, but what if she gets stuck in the ladle somehow? That'd be
transfer
it over, and I'm like, anything else that I have, not the ladle.
Please, why?
Well, there's hints and things that have been set up in this episode. So
It's magic. Anything can happen.
right, you
Fletch
never know.
Beaumont.
yeah, Fletch.
Or maybe Fletch ends up in the ladle. Yeah.
And then you have to have both of them because they're in love.
Oh,
So Mike, before we wrap this up, any spoilers for episode 4?
I don't have a freaking idea what's going on.
All right.
Yeah.
that's what I like to hear
No,
from a DM.
I have what's a spoiler? You got to go back to where you were. You can't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the
can't-
spoiler is literally what Cass said at the very end.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
spoils the next episode for sure with his
Right.
last line. He says it's time to get that effing skull.
Get that
I mean, that's the
get
whole
that
point of
skull.
getting the shovel is so
Yeah.
we could and
Yeah,
Tenacious
I mean-
basically says once you have the shovel,
Yeah.
you can find anything with it. That's
So-
anyway.
A wonderful moment when you were like, he spoiled it with his last line. And I saw Dylan be like, what did I
Me
say?
too. I'm like,
what was
I
it?
remember saying feckin' shovel or whatever.
Said-
Yeah.
I said a lot of things in this episode. What was it?
Yeah,
Too many
you gotta find the skull, and nothing can go wrong doing that.
Not at all.
Oh no, very straightforward.
I was
Yeah,
actually
it's
happy
about-
to see the shovel. That our special kudos to our special effects.
Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
Bandersnatch.
Very good.
So we had this whole thing of like, okay, the shovel is the big, it's the MacGuffin of the series, guys, right? So they got the MacGuffin, and so we're like, well, we have to make it, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do that, and I'm like, well, it's only gonna be on the screen for like half a second at the very end, which is literally what happened at the end. It was like on the screen for half a second, although it'll definitely be used more in the next one.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
They did great.
Or
Yeah.
you can choose to discard it as a player. Just be like, well,
Yeah.
we don't need it, and then
Like
just,
the wand, right?
We don't need this stupid shovel.
just dump it in the river, and it'll be
Well,
fine.
Oh, by the way, how did you like her solution for the wand? Did anybody understand what happened there? So,
yeah.
so a lot of times when we do it,
Well, I understood completely what you did. since I had already DM'd it.
well, no. So what happens is a lot of times is like a lot happens in a 2-hour. Our RPG sessions are around 2 hours, and you got to cut out the fat and just stick to the story. Well, they had found a wand in the previous one, but we just ignored the fact that they got the wand. That what happened is Billy the Kid found it, and then as he's walking out the door, he goes, "Yeah, whatever," and throws it over his shoulder, and Archibald picks it up. Well, that
Right.
was not in the script. It was not in the movie night
Yeah.
film. But then he ends up using it in this one. I'm like, okay, well, I'm
Yeah,
a continuity
I
guy.
understand completely, Steve. You got to take everything the DM does, he carefully lays out, and just chuck it, and then just do whatever the hell you want. I
Yeah,
understand
it's
how that
close.
goes.
It's close to what
I
happened.
loved Peter's solution. I have to tell you, I really loved the whole interview process in
That
the
was-
Caldea Studios.
Yeah.
That
I
was so
affirm.
good.
It's a little bit of Actorspokee meets The Office, just for a moment.
Yeah.
Exactly. I hope Andy enjoyed his all his fireworks. He got a lot of fireworks in this
He
particular.
did. They were
Did.
those special effects were great.
Those were
I
great.
love it.
Great cinematics, Steve.
Yeah.
And he got to drop an F-bomb. So I mean his job is done.
Yeah.
We did it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me on Actorspokee. And that concludes movie night for episode 3 of Graver Stig, an Actorspokee series set in the world of Chaldea right here on Gen Con TV, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific. We will be back in 1 week for episode 4, and that will be the RPG session. That'll be, the RPG session. And we will have Bryce Bebop there, and we will have Megan Crummy Nasser, and we will have Lexi the First, and we will have Bryce Bebop.
Bryce Bebop again. He's playing 2 of them.
I got this.
And
you
Rennie
gonna do that?
Aracto. There we go. That's and we will have Tanel Lovett there doing live illustrations of the story while it unfolds, and Mike Boozer DMing. And I'll just be there hanging out, watching. You won't see me there, but I'll be there just because I like to be there, part of it. That's the way. So if you like what we do, follow us on social media. We are on all the platforms at World of Chaldea, Chaldea, and we do this thing. We love fantasy. We love fantasy stories. We love role playing. We love filming actors, and this is how we bring it all together. And we like to turn RPGs into movies. So come back next week on Wednesday. See you there.